It's now official. Godzilla vs. King Kong is coming in 2020. According to an announcement by legendary CEO Thomas Tull and Kevin Tsujihara, chairman and CEO of Warner Brothers, Kong Skull Island will hit theaters in 2017. Godzilla 2 follows in 2018, and then Godzilla vs. Kong will hit theaters in 2020. Mark, with the news now being official, are you looking forward to Godzilla vs. King Kong? So it's a no.
No.
This is so awesome. Fantastic Four, good luck in theaters in 2020. I know what I'm going to see. King Kong versus Godzilla. God, this is what I've wanted since I was a little lad. But also, more recently, when I saw Godzilla, I just thought, what if? I know Peter Jackson had King Kong. I didn't know what studio that was at. I didn't know if we could ever get them in the same universe. And the fact that this is happening is so excited. I have new reason to stay alive until 2020. And the way that they're setting it up with Skull Island and then Godzilla 2, there's going to be little teases. There's going to be maybe like a post-credit scene, or maybe like a little, you see something off in the distance. It's like, what the hell was that? Then Godzilla versus King Kong. I have so much faith in this too. The way they're setting it up. This is not a Freddy versus Jason. This is not an Aliens versus Predator. This is the matchup of two screen behemoths that we've always wanted, done correctly. I cannot wait until 2020.
I wish you'd get excited for it.
Christian.
This is awesome. You know what's interesting about it when you look at this though? This is very rare in the fact that both Skull Island and Godzilla 2 could bomb. Could bomb hard.
Why are you doing this
I'm just
to me
telling
right
you,
now?
if they did, I don't think they will, but if they both bombed, that movie would still do incredible business. And that's rare. Because people want to see Godzilla vs. King Kong, and it's only 5 years away. That's really not that long when you think about it in regards to how they're setting these movies up.
Right.
Because what we're getting in Skull Island, and I'm really, actually, Skull Island to me is the one that I'm really interested in because I want to see how big they make King Kong, because if he's going to fight the Godzilla that Edwards has set up already,
He's got to do some PEDs.
he's got to do
get
something.
bigger.
He's got to do something. But I don't want to see him go to New York because we know that doesn't end well. I want to see him stay in Skull Island. I also want to know how they're going to do. Are they retconning the Empire? Strikes Back, the Empire State Building. Are they retconning all that? Because eventually he's going to have to fight Godzilla. It's a different mythology, which I'm totally fine with. But I want to see how they set it up. And then Godzilla 2 for me, because I am not one of those people. I did not love Godzilla. I love the end. I love seeing Godzilla ripping open faces and firing down his laser. I mean, that was amazing. But as far as
Christian, it's nuclear fire breath.
whatever, I know you're going to get comments for that. But it was still, the end of it was great for me. But it's just the setup and the story and the lead Kick-Ass was not good in that movie. Great, really good in Ultron. Not good in that one. But anyway, so I do want to see how they redeem it because I want Godzilla 2 to be great. Both those movies are great. By the time we get that big action fight, I don't want it to be Pacquiao versus Mayweather.
Yeah, I mean, here's how I think this is going to play out. I do not think you make King Kong any bigger. I mean, I think he's already huge. He's giant.
He's
and all
quick
that kind of stuff.
too.
But that's like
And he's
Pacquiao versus
quick.
Klitschko.
But here's the thing. I believe in Godzilla 2 because you have to do something. Right now, King Kong doesn't come up to Godzilla's knee. Or maybe his knee. But anyway, what I think happens is in Godzilla 2, some kind of nuclear blast or nuclear attack or something,
that's good too.
Godzilla shrinks. You got to shrink Godzilla.
Or Kong gets bigger? You don't think Kong?
I don't think, because it doesn't play as well, because if Kong gets much bigger, there's nowhere on this island for him to stand where the tops of the trees aren't just up to his knees.
Right.
You know, if he's
Right.
Godzilla size on that island, you see him from anywhere around that island. You see Kong. So, I mean, you can't go too big with him.
That's true.
I think some kind of nuclear test or nuclear attack on the opposing monster, whatever, the radiation will cause Godzilla to shrink. They have to retcon Godzilla a bit if they're going to have King Kong versus Godzilla. Like, do you think they'll go that way, or what do you think they're going to do?
I don't know that you necessarily have to have either one of them endure some sort of nuclear testing anymore, because it already happened with Godzilla. Kong, again, this is not attached to Peter Jackson's King Kong, right? And it's not
Correct.
attached to anything else. So you can make King Kong a little bit bigger. You can make the trees bigger. You can make the island bigger. You have freedom to do whatever you want. The concern I have is less Tale of the Tape, and it's more Kong Skull Island. The fact that it was just called Skull Island before. We heard it was going to be a prequel and King Kong was going to be in it. Maybe you get King Kong's grandpappy or something like that. And now all of a sudden it's called Kong Skull Island, which is still the last name of the lineage of the apes. But then Godzilla versus King Kong. That is the dude. That is King Kong. So where are they going with the story, and how much has the story that they originally wanted to tell with Skull Island been changed by the fact that we got to get these two to fight eventually?
Can't change it much. I mean, it goes into production in like a week. I think it starts production in like a week.
And they've had some actors jump ship because of scheduling issues and all that stuff. But I agree with Christian's point totally that even if Skull Island isn't great or Godzilla 2 isn't great, in 2020 we're going to get an awesome matchup. And right now, I had King Kong. I always think King Kong is going to beat Godzilla. I have him in football terms as like maybe like a -5, somewhere around there. But the fact that Godzilla came to play so hard at the end of Godzilla, I have this King Kong I have him favorite by a single point right now because he's so quick.